welcome back to Unpredictable Random Adventures. It has been a while since I've been here, but it is good to be back. As you know, life is always happening, so you never know what's going to come next. So it's been a while since I played this game, so I spent a few minutes getting familiarized with what I actually did last time I played. It looks like I have a very basic entrance without really much there. I have one exhibit that has some platypi in it, and I made some really nice looking rock walls, but I'm not so happy with this cement wall in front. Unfortunately, when I went and looked at what I did have available, I have not done very much research yet, so we're gonna have to live with what I have for now, and as I unlock some more packs, I can make something look a little bit more nicer. In my back, I just have a staff area, very basic, again, not too much detail yet. I'm thinking what I want to do to start off with is to build out this area in front, maybe make a nice food area for guests to have some food and other amenities. So I think I'm going to start off with that. So now that I know what I'm going to do, I took a very, very long time going into my paths and figuring out exactly which path I wanted to look at to create, what fits my aesthetic and all of that. And I won't have you struggle through what I struggled through to find the right one. Once I had that, I aligned it to the grid and then started placing my path right where I wanted it. Of course, there was a little bit of shuffling back and forth until I got the exact aesthetic that I was looking for. Just like anything, sometimes you have to put something down, see if you like it, mess with other things until you get it exactly the way you like it. And with just a few more changes, I finally have things about right where I want them for now, and I'm in a good spot to start moving on to the next step, which is adding my facilities. So now opening up my facilities tab, I then went through the painstaking task of deciding which ones to put in. I knew I wanted to put in a little bit of feed and drink. I ended up going with the gulpy soda, just the counter. Again, I do want to make it look really, really nice in the end, but I don't really have the tools to do so yet. So I start off by placing the gulpy soda counter. And then afterwards, I went and looked through all the different food options I had, and I ultimately decided on pizza because who doesn't love pizza? And I figured that would be a great one to add to my facility area. And just like everything else in this game, because I'm still rather new to it, I did have some issues figuring out exactly how to place these people and how to turn them around and all that. I'm sure once I get used to it, it'll be a lot easier, but it did take me quite a bit to figure out the physics and how to place all the people where I wanted them to go. With the last few people placed, I then moved on to the next thing I wanted to add, which is I wanted to add other amenities. So that included an information center. This way guests could get balloons and other information about my park. And I also wanted to add a gift shop so that they could buy some stuff. So I went with the wacky balloons, I believe it's called. Sorry if I said the wrong thing, but I added those as well to my square. It took me a little time to figure out exactly how I wanted to place them. When I looked through, I was pretty excited to see all the different stand options, like having little counters and other things for the gift shops. I'm excited to be able to try those when I do get to that stage of decorating. Lastly, I wanted to add some restroom facilities to my plaza. You know, you never want your guests to not have a place to go to the bathroom. It's pretty essential. So it took me some time to figure out exactly what a good placement for me would be, and I decided to put it right in between the gulpy soda and the pizza area. I figured that might be good, although kind of having facilities next to your food might not be the best idea. I'll think about that more before I put it when I go to decorate. So now that I have all my facilities down, let's hit the play button and see exactly what happens. It's good to see that the guests kind of immediately gravitate towards all the new things I just added. Like, look at them just shift directions. so I can now fill their needs a little bit better and hopefully bring in a little bit more revenue for my park. Then continuing on with my guests' needs, they need places to sit now that they have all this stuff to eat. So I wanted to pick out a nice bench that they can sit on. This took longer than it probably should have, again, because my limited amount of things I had, I wasn't sure if I really wanted to do a certain one, but ultimately I decided to go with the cooler bench that I had. Because it's something and it didn't look bad. Might not be my favorite aesthetic, but it works. I did have some issues with some of the angles on the benches. They weren't quite going to like the 90 or 180 degrees that I was looking for. If you have any tricks to help with placing of that, please let me know. Again, pretty new, and I would love to know more things from all of you guys. So I made sure to place benches all the way around, not just in my eating area. This way my guests have places that they can sit as they go around my park. Probably took way longer than it should have, but I'm a little bit of a perfectionist sometimes, and that's okay. At least it'll look pretty in the end. I then started to think about what kind of things I could do with the other side of my plaza. I was very dense on the one side, but the other side was very barren. And I thought I was thinking this as a great opportunity to add some exhibit animals, bring a little bit more revenue to my park, and also some more creatures for people to look at, or critters, I should say. So I started looking at my Zoopedia over what kind of exhibit animals I can put in, and I ended up really falling in love with all the different types of butterflies. I thought it would be very pretty and nice to look at, and something very nice to start my park with. So I went through and I ended up thinking, okay, I should just get all of them. There's 5 different types of butterflies, so let me get all 5 of them. Money aside, I then opened my animal trading market, or the exhibit trading market, and then bought all these butterflies. I tried to get 2 male and 2 female for each. One of them, I was only able to get 2 of one gender but not the other, but I could always get those later, so I wasn't too worried about them. So I jumped ahead, bought all my animals, and this ended up taking a lot of my money, a lot more than I thought it would. This ended up being a very expensive endeavor, especially for a very new starting zoo. If I could go back and do this again, I probably would have just bought 1 exhibit animal to start and then got the other ones afterwards. But you live and learn. So now with all my exhibit animals bought, I now needed to go give them an exhibit to live in. So I went and bought a few exhibits. Again, took me a while to get them attached to the grid. Little newbie me. One day I'll learn how to do this right. So I grabbed 2 exhibits and put them in. I did run out of money. Again, new player, not thinking about everything as I go through it. So I used pretty much all my money to place just 2 exhibits when I bought for 5 different species of exhibit animals. So now that I have my exhibit facilities, I then try to place my animals in. And again, this is where I ran into some complications. This is what makes life random and unpredictable. Going along with my channel. I bought all these animals, bought these exhibits, and then was completely unable to place my animals in those exhibits. I have no idea why. I tried looking it up. I tried a bunch of different things that people suggested, but no matter what I did, I just could not figure out how to place them in this exhibit. I'm thinking now maybe I was supposed to use like the open exhibit. I'm not entirely sure, but if you know why I wasn't able to place any of these in the exhibits, please let me know, because I would love to have a beautiful butterfly exhibit or a butterfly garden in my zoo. I think it would be gorgeous, especially in the beginning area. So please, please, please let me know. I would love to add this to my zoo. Because I didn't really know what to do with these exhibit animals, I could not figure out a way to fix this. So I just decided to do the best of what I could, which is unfortunately sell all of my animals and my exhibits. I was really strapped for cash at this point because I just started out and had like no money. So unfortunately, I had to undo all that I just did. Again, life is unpredictable. You never know what you are and aren't going to do, but it's better for me to sell them than for me to be bankrupt. So I had to do something very, very sad. So I took a minute to kind of reassess where I was going with this. Oftentimes, it's really easy to get lost when what you were trying to do didn't end up working out. I took a couple breathers, thought about it a little more. I had a notification. I checked that out. It seemed my research on the platypi or platypuses, I'm not really sure how to say that, was done. So I decided to then do a different research. I don't have more animals yet, so I just went with one of the diseases, I guess they're called, that were there. I just picked a random one or the next one in line and just decided to work on that instead while I still come up with my game plan. I then took a look at what I could do with the tools that I had. So I started going through and I was like, okay, let's just work on my plaza a little bit more. It could use a little bit more fleshing out. And I was like scrolling through some stuff and I ultimately decided let's add some trash cans. I did just get a notification about litter being really high. So I figured that was a good addition. So I grabbed the decorative trash bins and started placing them around the park. After placing all my trash bins around, I then went back into my construction or facilities tab and decided to add some tables that went along with the theme that I was already using so my guests could have a place to eat their food that they ordered, which is nice too. And this also helped fill up that blank plaza area on the opposite side. Again, this will do for now until I am able to do the things that I'm trying to do. So it's not what I wanted, but it looks nice and it is very functional. So that is always good. I then took some time to look around my park, see if there's anything I was missing or anything else that I wanted to add. Just random stuff like that. And then I started looking at the platypus and thinking about what I could do there. Like, yes, I do like how visually appealing it looks, but I wish I could see underground a little bit more. So I was trying to think of maybe what I could do about that because, you can't really see the platypus underwater or anything like that. And I'm not sure how important that is to me, but it is something I did want to think about going forward. If you do have any suggestions about whether I should or should not be able to see the platypus underwater, or if you have an idea about how that would be cool with what I already have, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you about that. And then I got a little distracted because I realized I didn't finish putting all the trash bins everywhere, so I decided to add a few more. There is a little bit of litter in places that there shouldn't be, so I wanted to make sure that there was enough trash cans so people were not just littering all over the place like they sort of do in real life, unfortunately. I really wish people... Now that I added all these facilities, I wanted to see if the guests needed anything more specific, so I took a look at what people are saying and how their needs were being met. I didn't really see anything too profound besides that, their hunger and thirst was a little higher. Besides that, I didn't really see too many complaints that stood out or I could do anything at this moment. It took a minute to appreciate how beautiful my park looked, even though it's really, really small, but that's okay. I also raised the ticket prices a little bit because the guests were saying it was too cheap, so I raised the adult price, kept the kids the same to see if that would work. Got some research done. All that kind of stuff, normal maintenance things. And then as I was looking around, I got very distracted, and I don't know if you guys saw this as well, but then I saw this cave in my volcano, and I couldn't help but to go explore it because this is insane. It was just naturally there to begin with, so I was like, why not? Let's go look and see how deep this is, and it looks pretty deep. I could not tell if it went further in or not. It was really, really dark, so it was hard to tell, but I definitely want to use this going forward because it's a pre-existing cave, which is super cool, and I would love to do something in there. Please, if you have any ideas of what would be really cool to put in this cave, let me know. I would love to do something like maybe Maybe that'd be a really cool, like, bat exhibit. Just kind of have, like, an open bat exhibit in there or something. I don't know. But just thoughts and ideas. Um, yeah. Adventure time. It's ready. Now back into my park and, some trouble with some camera angles later. um, just, evaluating my park, seeing if there's anything else I want to add or anything like that. And then I saw something right about here that really got me off track, and my ADD brain could not help but figure out where on earth was this balloon going. So then I started scrolling up and up and up to see what was going to happen to said balloon. And then while I was doing that, up again, sorry, bad camera angles. And there's the sun. But then I noticed that there was several balloons, not just one, that were in the atmosphere. Look at all those. And then I'm like, okay, all right, maybe I shouldn't have balloons here because, while they're nice and make the park look festive, I don't know as a zoo if it's ethically good to have a bunch of balloons floating around in the atmosphere. I feel like this goes against what zoos are trying to do for the most part. So I probably will be changing that. But yeah, I couldn't help but notice the balloons and that one just disappeared. So yeah, I will be changing that next time. But I think this is a good place to stop. I am definitely thoroughly distracted and not going anywhere. So I will see you guys next time. Goodbye!